Secondary to that, we do have a PR firm too that we're trying to kind of revamp a little bit of the way that we've been utilizing things and putting information out to you guys.
Yes.
We have to, as we've grown. So
now, another thing I want to talk about are these Twitter influencers, right? I put a post up earlier today. It says, in other news, Saitama needs to disassociate themselves from these so-called PR people. It's just hurting the brand. You have these power-hungry Discord mods / Twitter influencers making them look like a total joke. And it is true. They do not represent the brand correctly. You know, there's a lot of people that are big in the Saitama community, right? The people who are content creators are getting in arguments with these PR people who say, I'm not employed by Saitama, but I can sit here and talk on their behalf. It's just absolutely insane. These guys are out of their mind. These freaking influencers, right? These influencers, these PR people who have the combined IQ of a freaking peanut out there brainwashing the community and getting mad that people are upset with their investment because the team keeps missing targets. Another issue that was brought up that he really didn't address that I think he should is the overwhelming number of people out there who maybe are not paid by Saitama, maybe are not officially representations of Saitama, but they're still people that represent the brand and everyone knows them as representing the brand. And I feel like they don't do a good job. Those people are getting into crazy Twitter arguments with people like me, right? Other people, where real companies like the Targets, the Walmarts, the big serious companies, they don't have those issues. They don't get into those problems. And they don't have these PR people, right, that are moderator discords, you know, and those sorts of things. Like, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my crypto journey. My name is Rodney, and holy heck, Saitama, they did it. Are they watching my videos? I hate to toot my own horn here, guys, but it looks like they're finally getting an official PR team. That is awesome, right? As you saw in the beginning, you saw the clips of my videos. But if you go back, I've mentioned a PR team multiple times. If you watch my channel, I always say that they don't do a good job at representing themselves as like a real business, right? The news we get from Saitama is like third party from these freaking Twitter influencers that have, you know, thousands of followers. Good on them, kudos to them. But they think they know it all. They think they are the go-to for Saitama information, and they're pompous and they're gross. No one likes them, right? And even the Saitama community is turning on them, but they think just because they have a little bit of power on Discord and Twitter, they can just say and do what they want, and they act like they represent Saitama. So it's good that Saitama is going to have an official place, like a hub, where you can get information. Hopefully they have a good PR team who's kind of suit and tie and those sorts of things, right? Real official messaging, right? Real professional messaging and those sorts of things, because I think the whole time they've been a PR mess, and I think they've just been over promising and under delivering. So I'm glad that that was worked out on this AMA. It made me happy. Now, the rest of the AMA was not that good. It was a big nothing burger, to be honest. They said some things. They said it's the App Store's fault again. And at the end, what I really didn't like is it seemed like Russ was like, oh, well, hey, man, most teams don't even give you this kind of AMA. Like pretty much saying, be grateful for the fact that we're on here doing an AMA with you, which to me is like, you know, I hate to compare them to Shibnobi, right? I hate to compare them to Shibnobi. People don't like that. But, you know, Shibnobi has done live AMAs 55 out of the last 56 days. Yes, 55 out of the last 56 days, Shibnobi has been doing YouTube live videos where they answer everyone's question for multiple hours a night. That's crazy, right? That's dedication. So I'm glad that they're doing these AMAs weekly, but don't act like it's like a special privilege, because I think it's ridiculous. You owe us that as a company. You owe us that, right? So I hate to sound like a Karen, right? But you do owe us that. But this AMA was kind of a nothing burger. Honestly, a little disappointing. It was kind of the same old. What's going to happen for Saitama, I'm not sure. This dipped down into the teens, but it bounced back aggressively, right? People are buying the dip. I made a point last night that the liquidity is pretty low on Saitama. It's at what, 16 million, right? Less liquidity than Shibnobi, and that could be a problem when it comes to getting on exchanges and those sorts of things. So you have to keep that in mind. Look at the liquidity. Dex Tools is not always the most accurate, but you know, it's been 24 hours ish since this number has updated, and it's been about the same. So we'll see what happens. I do think this thing is going to pump as soon as the app is fully functional for everyone and the swap feature becomes available. Now, I did say if it broke below the 32 range, which is a level of support, that the bottom would fall out, and it did, right? I could never, it's hard to tell, right? Could have been a good place to load up on Saitama for some people, but it dipped down more. So if you're able to buy this dip down here, well, good for you. Well, we'll have to see what goes on, right? No one's a fortune teller. No one can tell the future. All we have to do is look at the evidence. And it looks like Saitama's holding up right here, but who knows really, right? The entire market is down. I don't think that this price action down is just because of the overall market. I think this has to do with Saitama fumbling the bag too. So we'll have to see what happens from here. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. What did you think about the AMA? I know that the overwhelming response for my YouTube video, it wasn't that good, and the overwhelming response on Twitter also wasn't that good. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.